Why is everyone acting shocked that games cost money now? Like this is some kind of betrayal. One minute it's GTA 6 allegedly hitting $120 and the internet's losing its mind. The next, CapCut quietly strips out another free feature and locks it behind a paywall. Flickr? Cracking down on free accounts. All of this happening while wages haven't moved since coffee was $3 a cup. Xbox raised Game Pass prices last year. Sony hiked up the PS5 digital edition. Nintendo's sneaking in accessory price bumps like it hopes you won't notice. These aren't coincidences. They're red flags, flapping in the storm. Everything's going up because making things, real things, digital things, costs money. Who would have thought? And keeping up? That's on us too. We're in the middle of a digital price hike storm and no one's immune. But here's the hard truth. Maybe this is just the cost of evolution, a necessary evil. Because gaming, it's not just a pastime anymore. It's a lifestyle. And like every other serious hobby, photography, mountain biking, cosplay, it comes with a buy-in. We expect AAA games to look like movies, play like butter, and never crash. But then, we also expect them to run on a decade-old laptop that wheezes when you open Google Docs. That's not how this works. I had my own wake-up call back in The Sims 2 days. Didn't even know what a graphics card was until that game showed up, and politely told me my PC was a potato. Did I rage quit? Nope. I upgraded. And here we are in 2025, still trying to run massive worlds like Second Life, Inzoi, Once Human, and even titles like Baldur's Gate 3 on machines that belong in a museum. If your rig sounds like a lawnmower in distress every time you log in, maybe, just maybe, it's time to stop blaming the game and start looking under the hood. Not for shame, not for status, just for the kind of experience you actually want. Because you can't bring a butter knife to a boss fight and expect to win. Gaming is changing, and so should the gear we bring to it. What happens next is almost always the same. Blame the game. It's broken. It's not optimized. It's a cash grab. It hates me personally. But here's the honest, not so sexy truth. Modern virtual worlds need modern systems. Whether it's a legacy beast like Second Life, a massive open world like GTA 6, or even something seemingly simple like editing on CapCut, these experiences are demanding. And no amount of manifesting or shouting in Discord will make your 15-year-old machine magically able to handle them. That doesn't mean developers get a free pass. Second Life still needs a serious engine overhaul. Flickr has users questioning every megabyte. CapCut's freemium model has people screaming into the algorithm. Everyone's got work to do, but at the end of the day, your hardware is still part of the equation. So when we see people complaining that Inzoi won't run on their laptop, it's not the game being elitist. It's just reality. You wouldn't try to stream in 4K on dial-up. You can't build a skyscraper on a foundation made of jello. Same goes for virtual worlds. Your GPU matters. Your RAM matters. Your expectations? They need to match your specs. Gaming is changing, and so should the gear we bring to it. Gaming isn't oxygen. It's not a utility bill. It's not a fundamental human right enshrined by the UN. It's a hobby. Something we do because it brings us joy, lets us escape, and gives us worlds where our biggest concern is whether our avatar's hair clashes with their kitchen backsplash. But hobbies? They come with a price tag. Photographers don't shoot magazine covers with a $100 camera. Tennis players don't win Wimbledon with a cracked $10 racket. And model train collectors? Those tiny locomotives cost more than some people's rent. Yet when it comes to gaming, People act like they should be able to run cutting-edge software on a laptop that wheezes during a YouTube ad. Gaming is a lifestyle now, but some people miss that memo. Here's the shift. Gaming used to be a side thing. Now it's a lifestyle. People build brands, identities, and entire social lives around it. There are full-time streamers, virtual concerts, digital fashion empires, and entire relationships that exist in game worlds. We're not just playing anymore, we're living there. And when something becomes a lifestyle, it brings lifestyle-level costs. You can't expect to participate fully using 2014 gear and vibes alone. Want to explore, create, and compete on today's level? You need the tech that can keep up. Honestly, gaming is still cheap compared to most other lifestyle hobbies. A solid PC opens doors to hundreds of experiences. Try saying the same about mountain biking, cosplay, or film photography. Those price tags make gaming look like a clearance sale. So, no, it's not elitist to say you need better gear. It's just being realistic about the tools required for the world we're choosing to be a part of. You know what's wild? Most gamers have that one moment when they realize the game isn't broken. It's just their setup gasping for air. For me, it was The Sims 2. That game came into my life like a thunderbolt, and I was hooked. I had no clue what a graphics card was back then. Honestly, it sounded like a weird techie accessory I'd never need. Until someone told me, hey, your PC needs a graphics card to run The Sims 2. Did I hesitate? Not even a little. I was like, take my money. Just make sure my PC is ready for launch day. No drama, no budgeting meltdown. Just pure urgency. I didn't question the upgrade. I just knew I wanted to play, and if that meant investing in better hardware, then so be it. Fast forward to The Sims 4, and I had a full, custom-built PC waiting for it. But, you know, life happens. Somewhere along the line, I shifted gears. Got into Xbox, fell into the Apple ecosystem like so many of us do, and gaming on PC took a back seat. That's how I ended up on an old generation iMac, which is about as game optimized as a toaster with Wi-Fi. I tried running Second Life on that iMac. Tried The Sims 4 too. It worked, but barely. Lag, fan noises, loading times that made me question my life choices. But I still tried. I never once blamed the game. I knew the machine wasn't built for it. It was like trying to run a marathon in wooden clogs. You can, technically, but you're gonna have a bad time. And that's the point. Sometimes it's not the game's fault. Sometimes it's just the gear you're working with. And if you want to experience a game the way it was designed to be played, whether it's Inzoi, Second Life, or even just The Sims, you need to be willing to invest in your setup, because in gaming, the hardware isn't an afterthought, it's half the experience. The outrage isn't really about one game's price, it's about warped expectations. Gamers have been trained to think base games should be cheap or free, and everything else, carved out, packaged separately, and sold back to us in overpriced slices. Thank you, EA, for that lovely trauma. We've all learned that weather is DLC, toddlers are sold separately, and don't even think about a hot tub without paying extra. Over time, we've adjusted to it. We've accepted half-finished games and just waited for the real content to show up in expansions or season passes. So now, when a game drops with an honest, all-in price and no creepy monetization scheme, it feels suspicious. Like, wait, where's the scam? But here's the thing. Making a game isn't free. Hosting 1 billion images on a platform like Flickr? Not free. Keeping a tool like CapCut running and evolving? Also not free. Somewhere along the way, A chunk of people forgot that software, servers, updates, and actual human developers all come with costs. And unless you're coding your own sandbox RPG in a cave somewhere, those costs get passed on. There's also a weird kind of digital entitlement creeping into gaming. This belief that every game should run flawlessly on any system, no matter how old. Like, if someone's laptop wheezes during the loading screen, suddenly it's the developer's fault. They need to optimize better. No, maybe you need to stop trying to game on a microwave. Now, I'm not saying everyone needs to drop $2,000 on a brand new rig every year. That's not realistic for most people. But if you're trying to run high-end, visually demanding games or platforms on a machine that was already hanging on for dear life during the Sims 4 era, we've got to manage expectations. Games like untold are designed for modern systems, not machines that were already struggling to run The Sims 4 back when Instagram still had the sepia filter and your phone had a headphone jack. That's not unreasonable. That's just tech evolving. We don't ask modern cars to run on leaded petrol. We don't expect new apps to work on flip phones. So why are people shocked when a 2025 game doesn't play nice with a dusty old laptop that can't even handle shadows? Now, before anyone grabs their pitchfork, I'm not saying Second Life is perfect and that it's all your computer's fault. Second Life is an old, stubborn platform. It's got legacy code, spaghetti systems, and bugs that have survived longer than some users' avatars. It's absolutely not as streamlined or optimized as newer games like untold. And yeah, there are times when everything is lagging, even on a high-end machine, and you're like, what fresh hell is this? So yes, Second Life has its own problems. Many of them. It's not always fair to compare it directly to something being built recently, with newer tools, cleaner architecture, and fewer cobwebs in the code base. But, and this is a gentle but, having a decent computer still makes a massive difference. No matter how broken the bones of a platform are, better hardware helps soften the blow. Higher RAM, a modern GPU, faster storage. These don't fix Second Life's flaws, but they do help you experience less pain while dealing with them. And I totally get it. Not everyone can afford a shiny new system. Life's expensive, and a decent gaming rig isn't something you just toss into your weekly grocery budget. But if you want smoother sailing across these massive, complex digital ecosystems, whether you're rendering scenes in CapCut, exploring Second Life, loading into GTA 6, or scrolling thousands of images on Flickr, better hardware makes a real difference. Maybe not perfection, but definitely better. So this isn't about shaming anyone using older setups. It's about being real with the expectations. You can love Second Life, understand its flaws, and still acknowledge that if your viewer is struggling, it might not only be the platform's fault. Sometimes it's the laptop's internal fan whispering, "I wasn't built for this." Gaming culture has exploded, and that's part of the problem. It evolved into this massive, creative, social beast where people build communities, careers, and identities. But a lot of players didn't upgrade with it. The expectations grew, but the hardware didn't. That disconnect, it's where the friction starts. Look at GTA 6. People are up in arms about the $120 price tag, but look at GTA 5, which launched in 2013, and we're still playing it. That's over a decade of value for a one-time cost. Do the maths. That's what, a few cents a day? Cheaper than your morning coffee and definitely cheaper than most hobbies. Compare that to a story-driven game you blast through in 12 hours and never touch again. Or like going out to a restaurant. You pay for the food, the atmosphere, the night out, and once it's over, it's over. No one's demanding a refund because the appetizer didn't come with lifelong DLC. But people expect games, especially online ones with constant updates, server costs, and live support to be free, or nearly so. Meanwhile, their hardware is from the Paleolithic era, and they are shocked it's not running at 60 FPS with ray tracing. Gaming has grown up. The experiences are bigger, deeper, and more immersive. But to enjoy them the way they were meant to be played, you need to invest, just like you would in any other hobby or lifestyle. It's not about gatekeeping. It's about keeping up. So if your system's holding you back, maybe it's time to stop yelling at your screen and start upgrading what's behind it. You don't need a $5,000 monster build, but you do need gear that shows up ready to play. This has been Pris, exposing pixel delusions one lag complaint at a time. Stay sharp, stay upgraded, and if your fan sounds like a dying goose, maybe don't blame the devs. Catch you next frame drop.